The rain poured down in sheets that evening, washing the city streets clean but leaving behind a biting chill. On the corner of Maple Avenue, a young man named Daniel stood under a flickering streetlight, clutching his worn-out jacket tighter. Life hadn't been kind to him lately. He worked odd jobs, barely making enough to keep a small roof over his head. Yet, despite the hardships, Daniel carried a warmth in his heart that no storm could wash away. Just across town, his childhood friend Ethan lived a very different life. Ethan had inherited his family's thriving business, owned a sprawling house with tall glass windows, and drove cars that Daniel only ever saw in magazines. They had once been inseparable, playing in the same schoolyard, dreaming about the future together. But life's divide between wealth and poverty slowly pulled them apart. One night, fate brought them back together. Daniel was walking home from a long shift at a diner when he noticed a sleek black car pulled over at the side of the road. The driver's side door was open, and a man was kneeling beside it, holding his arm in pain. Daniel rushed closer and froze. It was Ethan. "Ethan," Daniel called out. Ethan looked up, his face pale. "Daniel, my chest can't breathe properly." Without a second thought, Daniel helped his old friend into the passenger seat. Ignoring the rain and the exhaustion in his own bones, he drove Ethan straight to the hospital. Hours later, doctors confirmed that Ethan had narrowly avoided a heart attack. If Daniel hadn't acted so quickly, the outcome could have been tragic. Lying in the hospital bed, Ethan whispered, "Why would you help me after all this time? I never once reached out to you. I was so caught up in my wealth, I forgot the people who mattered." Daniel smiled faintly. "Because friendship doesn't measure wealth, Ethan. When you're in need, you don't leave someone behind." That moment pierced Ethan's heart deeper than any medical needle. For years, he had believed money was the safety net that protected him. But here, lying weak and vulnerable, he realized the truth: kindness was worth more than any fortune. When Ethan recovered, he didn't just thank Daniel, he made a promise. He helped Daniel find a stable job at his company, not out of pity, but out of respect. More importantly, he rekindled the bond of friendship they had lost to life's inequalities. Months later, the two friends were sitting at a cafe, laughing like they had as children. Ethan no longer saw Daniel as the poor one, and Daniel no longer saw Ethan as the rich one. They were simply two friends bound by kindness, a reminder that humanity, not money, defines true wealth. And so, the story leaves us with this truth: riches fade, circumstances change, but kindness lives on forever, and it only takes one act of compassion to turn strangers back into friends.